I'm Benevolent from the Northern Territory. I'm an artist, I guess folk-based, but have broadened my genre over the many years up here, from blues to reggae to kind of anything. I'm kind of a product of my environment. I had a lot of sporting injuries, I guess, and had this idea that I'd be some kind of famous footballer or something like that, but that didn't really work with injuries, so I picked up a guitar and went travelling, and it was like a diary writing every day, and I felt empty if I didn't play it every day, and watched Rage late at night to learn how to play it and watch where people put their fingers and their shapes. And yeah, but the travelling part of my life took up probably 12 years. I've been on the road and living in out of small backpacks, and started off as a big backpack and turned into a very small handy little pack, if you like, and lived in a tent probably for about 7 years, and vans and grounds and everything all around the world, and really people and place kind of really immersed myself in, and really became a part of cultures and the place and environment that I was in. And through that process it evokes a certain emotion, so you find yourself maybe writing about a certain place or an instance because of where you are. I had spent a lot of time in Africa, maybe 3 or 4 years, and it really took me back to the roots and the origins of myself. And it was before I even played music in front of anyone or to anyone. It was one of those things that I kept pretty close to myself because I wasn't trained, and I had this fear of showing people, I guess, my gifts. And through a chance meeting through a fella there, told me that I was quite selfish to be able to keep my music to myself. And from that moment I understood that, and took that on and tried to perform for people.
Somebody you love so much, and where now I bet you could use somebody to love somebody like him.
On the way back from travelling, I guess, being skint, broke, I kind of put off coming back to Australia, and I did end up coming back, and I applied for a couple of jobs, one in Tassie and one up here, and the job up here came up and ended up being a tour guide for 6-7 months. And then the territory just encapsulated who I am and what I am, and then musically gave me so many opportunities, explore myself, really put it out there to the people. And people up here have been very communal and kind of give you a big hug for your music, and it's a lovely place to express yourself. And the small tight community up here it's been amazing to be able to, I guess, let the bird free up here. A lot of essences, like through work. I worked out in the islands, TV Islands, Goulburn Island, Croker Island for about 4 or 5 years teaching kids, and through teaching kids especially, you really evoke this child nature, and teaching kids songs in language and being a big kid kind of lessens the load of putting pressure on yourself to be some big fancy musician, I guess. And the environment that you're in, that some of these places are very remote and isolated, like Darwin itself, and you really find yourself playing on that remoteness. Like, music comes to you through that. It's an amazing place, the territory, but having that opportunity to be out in community and teach and be a big kid again kind of settled me into being a musician a bit more. Because I'm not trained, it's one of those things that's very hard to go, I want to be this big fancy big time muso, but I don't know how to teach. But then again, I was teaching music to kids, and it's not about knowing music theory or anything like that. It's more about the essence of your personality, and giving that back is a great thing.
I'm on the outside looking in, things look dark and they look grim.
This free-flowing aspect of the territory, and that expanse kind of allows you to be a bit more freer with your music, I think. Darwin in itself is a small kind of town. If you're in a bigger city, it's very hard to get out of the concrete jungle to then explore and release those kind of emotions. And I'm very much a product of my environment, and I've spent many a time just riding down to the foreshore here, or out in the bush singing with my guitar and playing and letting the music come to me. And often that's a little thing that I did while I was travelling, and I've tried to keep that up here. And you're very much dominated by the environment. So of course I wholeheartedly am an NT artist, been encapsulated by the NT. I feel really proud to be an NT artist, doing things from such a remote place, and all the challenges that are involved in being so far away. I love representing the NT in my artistry, and the NT's been one of those things that has really given me the opportunity. And to be able to perform up here, starting to get recognition nationally for that and push that NT brand and that NT name, and so that people don't forget that the NT is part of Australia. And I know from being not in the NT that you kind of forget about the NT. I guess you kind of know how Tassie feel a little bit now. Being so far away and a bit isolated, people forget about it, and it's really good to push that name. And there's something really intrinsic about the NT that people kind of love. They don't really know about it. It's kind of like all that jungle kind of feel. We're going to a place that's quite unknown, and yeah, it's really good pushing that.